guys, welcome back to DC Explores. In today's video, we are in my lovely kitchen and we are here to make one simple recipe of chocolate mousse. Along with that, as the title says, we're going to talk about nutrition, on why nutrition is important and how you can optimize it. I'm going to share some tips based on my lifestyle and that I've applied in my life, and it had worked for me, and I'm sure it's going to work for you. And if you're visiting the channel for the first time, I would recommend that you follow our series. Go check my video out on sleep, where I spoke about why sleep is important and the tips that I shared with y'all on how you can optimize your sleep. And healthier lifestyle revolves around a base of the three things that I refer to as tripod, which is sleep, nutrition, and movement. So in this video, we're going to talk about nutrition. I don't want to waste any time. We'll directly dive in on why nutrition is important. While doing that, we're going to make our chocolate mousse, and for the mousse we've got some absurd ingredients. I know, looking at the ingredients, you're going to have a mini attack. For the first time, even I did when I saw this recipe. So this is not an original recipe, just FYI. I just saw it on some Instagram reel or a YouTube short, and I was like, let's give this a try. And it did really taste amazing. So I was like, let's make this. Me just standing here in my kitchen and just not making anything would really be a little bit awkward. So I was like, let's just start that. So let's not deviate and go to the absurd ingredients. So first and foremost, we've got eggs. Yes, we've got 3 hard-boiled eggs, and those are going to be used to make the chocolate mousse. I know it's going to sound insane, but wait and watch. Next, the obvious ingredient is the cacao or cocoa powder. I'm using this Fries or Freeze brand. You can use any one. I've made it earlier with Hershey's. You could just use any cocoa powder that you like. The next ingredient is milk. I've got 2% fat milk. You can use any percentage of fat milk. Just like we need 1 cup of milk. And the other ingredient we have is protein powder. So I have this triple milk chocolate protein powder from PVL. It's a Canadian brand. I really like it. It tastes amazing. It's pretty smooth, blends really well with whatever dish I make. So I was like, let's try it out. And other than that, I've forgotten the most important ingredient that's gonna make it sweet and taste it like chocolate mousse, that is sweetener. So I'm gonna use a sweetener of my choice, which is stevia. So I've got stevia over here. So the ratios and the proportions, I'm gonna share it on the description, and as and when I'm gonna blend it, I'll share with you all. Also, I'm gonna put in the timestamp for the tips. So if you want to skip the why part, I'm sure a lot of people must be knowing why nutrition is important. So they can directly skip to the tips part where I speak about how you can optimize it. I think everyone's aware about this point that nutrition is the fuel for the body. I hope we have a general consensus on that. So talking about the fuel for the body, if you don't provide quality food for the body, then it will lead to deficiencies. These deficiencies might sound small, but in long run, these deficiencies can lead to chronic issues. The process to leading to these chronic issues might affect your mood, your stress levels, lead to depression, affect your performance in general in life. So to avoid that, you need to focus on nutrition. And the second point on why you need to focus a little bit more on nutrition is if you have goals to lose weight or gain weight. You need to understand the law of thermodynamics. I know I'm going a little bit more scientific, but it is pretty easy. It says that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It is just transformed from one form to another. So for example, these eggs, what we have in the blender, once we eat them, they have got some energy. So it's not going to go in our bodies and disappear. It can't happen scientifically. That's not logically possible. It's going to go in our bodies and get transformed into some form, either in the form of energy that can be used in some movement or internal functioning of the body, or it will be stored in our body in terms of fat that can be used later as a form of energy. And when we look at the total daily energy expenditure, which comprises of your BMR, the TEF, which is thermic effect of food, and your normal exercising, which is subdivided into structured exercising and non-structured exercising. Like non-structured movements would be something like what I'm doing right now. I'm just moving, I'm talking, I'm just standing, breathing. All these things come under non-structured, and structure goes when if you have any workout schedule or plan. If you see the overall chart, you'll notice that the structured and the non-structured comprises of just 15 to 20%. The majority of the calories that are burned by the body majorly go through BMR and thermic effect of food. So if you just focus on burning calories in the gym or elsewhere in terms of movement, like if you associate, oh, this particular movement burns 500 calories, that's why I'm going to do that. But technically, if you see the larger picture, your body is working for you. So wouldn't you want to use that as a tool rather focusing on extra time and effort spending on movement? No wonder movement is important and you need to use it smartly, but you need to not focus and associate every exercise in terms of calories. Exercising should be associated in terms of performance, building strength, building muscle, but not in terms of burning as many calories as it says. We are obsessed with calories. We need to be obsessed with calories in terms of nutrition. If we understand the overall total daily expenditure chart, the total daily expenditure for a person could be 2000 calories. If that person eats more than 2000 calories, he'll gain weight. If that person eats less than 2000 calories, that person will lose weight. Pretty basic scientific formula that works for our bodies. And that going being said, what that person loses and gains depends on the quality of food that you provide. So that's where the quality ingredients matter. So now that you've understood why nutrition is important, let's go further and talk about the tips that you can apply in your life, which will help you improve the quality of your nutrition. So before that, I will just showcase like what I'm doing, like so far what I've done. I've just added 3 eggs that we initially discussed to the blender. So I've added some cocoa powder, that is 2 tablespoons, half cup of milk, and now I'm gonna add some stevia, which is gonna be a sweetener. So the ratio of stevia to cocoa powder is gonna be 2:1 or like 2:2. It depends on how much sweet you like the mousse to be. Taste the batter a little bit and decide for yourself. One important tip while doing this, make sure that you add a little bit of vanilla essence because it has eggs, so it might have a typical smell which most people don't like. Vanilla essence can help that smell go away. So that's a bonus tip for you all. And I think that's good amount of stevia. So last ingredient that I'm gonna add is the protein powder. The protein powder will be the final ingredient, and that will sum it down to how the chocolate mousse is gonna look like. So I've added 1 scoop already. I'm just gonna add another. So this is how the overall blender looks like. It has protein powder, it has milk, it has cocoa, it has stevia, and it has eggs. So the first tip that I'm going to share with you all is to switch to whole foods. I'm not telling you all to make that switch directly. I know it's not easy. We are surrounded by processed food. Everywhere we look, we find something in a package. So I'm just telling you all to see where you are at. Like for example, what I would do is like I would check what I consume. I would see like if I am at 50 to 60%, I would try to add a little more of whole food. Start with maybe 10% of swapping, and our end goal should be around 70 to 80% of whole foods, and the remaining 10 to 20 we can take it from processed food. I'm not saying processed foods are bad. Some foods have great micronutrients and vitamins and minerals, and others have less. So we just need to have a good balance of both. In general, whole foods give us more better quality ingredients. If you are a rookie and if you don't know what is whole foods, whole food is nothing but single ingredient food. Like if you see eggs, same goes with any legume, vegetables, fruits. If you're going for processed food, try to see the ingredients. I'm not saying all processed foods are bad. Some processed foods are really good, so try to see the number of ingredients in the processed food. It's very easy to see that every packaged food will have the ingredients label and the nutritional label. Maybe I'll make a video in future on how to read that, but in basics you can just see the number of ingredients, and the order goes as the first three ingredients are the major ingredients that take up 70 to 80% of that product. So make sure that the first three ingredients are clean. After that, if you have some emulsifiers or artificial flavors and other things, that is still okay. But if your first ingredient starts with sugar, oil, or something like that, then you know that it's a big red flag. So the second tip that you need to focus on is to eat enough protein. Enough protein is subjective. There is no number that works for everyone. It totally depends on your lifestyle, your goals, and how you want to see yourself in terms of health and fitness. But the bare minimum requirement that I can tell you in terms of amount of protein is nothing but your weight in kgs. That many grams of protein you need in a day to at least sustain and maintain the existing muscle mass. For example, I'm weighing around 90 kgs, so at least to maintain whatever frame and muscle mass that I have, I need to eat around 90 kgs, oh sorry, not 90 kgs, but 90 grams of protein. I hope that makes sense. Then again, if I have some goals of building muscle or trying to lose fat or trying to push harder in terms of sports, athletics, or some performance goals, people go as much as 2 times in your body weight. There is no max limit in terms of the protein intake. It varies from person to person. That doesn't mean that you go and eat 300 grams of protein. I know that's not humanly possible from whole foods at least. Next thing, another benefit of protein is that you will be satiated. Just take a random example of a bag of Cheetos and some apples. Even if the calories are same, the entire bag of Cheetos might be like 400-500 calories, but 500 calories apple you won't be able to eat in one sitting. No wonder if you have an apple juice, it will be easier. But I'm talking in terms of biting and having it as a whole food, then you won't be able to consume all of that apple of 500 calories compared to a bag of Cheetos. So I hope that makes sense, like that example makes sense. So protein has a lot of benefits. I can go on and on for another 5 minutes and it still won't be enough. But we'll wrap it up by just talking about the last benefit, that is the thermic effect of protein. Protein ranks on top in terms of the other macros, which is carbs and fat. So the body takes up more energy to break down protein, which works in our favor. So the more protein you eat, the more calories you're burning by doing nothing, by just eating protein. The next step is to focus on your gut. See how your gut feels when you eat something. It's not necessary that all good, healthy food will work for you. Even if that food has been labeled as amazing superfood, it is not necessary that your gut will react in the same way. I know a lot of folks who are allergic to gluten, to dairy, and to nuts, but that doesn't mean that these things are bad. I eat all of them and I eat them like regularly. I never fall into any issues. So that means that I'm not allergic to it. It works for me in the healthy category. But for them, they need to switch to some alternative. So you can try out this exercise the next time you eat something. Just note down 2 things on how you feel and what are your energy levels, and you will understand the difference that I'm talking about compared with whole foods and processed foods. Moving on to the next thing is to avoid distracting eating and to focus on your hunger. So whenever we eat something, if we are distracted, we end up eating more than what we were hungry. If we are having our dinner or breakfast or lunch, and if we have our phone along with us and we are just scrolling or just watching some Netflix and binging, you will end up eating more. Whereas when you just focus on the food or you're just conversating with your partner or your family and eating something, you'll just eat based on what you were hungry for. Now we'll move on to the final tip that I'm gonna share with you all. But before that, I'll just wrap it up in terms of the chocolate mousse. So let me just blend once again. A little bit of overacting. So this goes in the refrigerator for around 3 hours. Once it freezes, it will have better consistency. So I've already done that. Like, I created a batch yesterday. But right now I'll just move one which we made into this glass and discuss about the final tip. Build based on your lifestyle. Eat things that you like. I'm not talking to eat unhealthy stuff, because I know you're obsessed with eating processed food. You're talking about eating healthy and eating balanced food, but based on your lifestyle. Don't even listen to me or any fitness influencer. They will give you diets, they will sell you based on various marketing schemes. If you don't create a plan based on your particular needs and your lifestyle, you will fail. So it doesn't really matter what type of diet you follow. Another benefit of building based on your lifestyle is that you can sustain it for long. I often see people, they go on a crash diet and they fall off the wagon in 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. Are you willing to do this just for 2, 3 months so that you see the weighing scale go down? And then when you fall off that, then again it shoots up to the same weight, or in fact even more. Is that the loop you want to be in? Or you want to do something that you can sustain it for life? Whatever tips I've shared so far, all things you can't directly rush into. Take one thing, apply it in your lifestyle, see how you can sustain it, and think about longevity and lifetime commitment. That being said, I have my chocolate mousse ready. I will take out the one which I have already done yesterday. Look at the consistency of the one which was refrigerated for 3 hours. It doesn't even flinch. I'm so excited to have a bite. It looks so good. You can maybe drizzle it with chocolate shavings, maybe just use a dark chocolate. Well, I'm just overthinking maybe. But whatever it is, I'm just gonna have a bite and then wrap this video. So this is the one from the fridge. I'm gonna have a bite. Tastes really good. Has a very smooth texture. If you want it to be a little more thick, you just add less milk. I think I'm just gonna have it right now. And in terms of protein, so if I had to do the math, overall it was like per glass will have easily around 25 to 30. I think this is the best way to eat eggs if you don't like eating eggs in general, or if you don't like the egg smell. You can have it like a sweet dish. And who knew egg would taste so good? It's all thanks to that recipe that I saw on Instagram. Kudos to those people who found this. Okay, I'm signing off. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you all liked it. I hope you all understood something more and got something to take away from this video and apply in your lifestyle. Like this channel, subscribe to it. A lot more fitness related content is gonna come. Next video we'll talk about movement, on why movement is important, and the tips that you can apply in your lifestyle to improve it. Till then, take care.